Didn't I, you little sucker? Hi, I'm Joey Hollywood, and today I'm reviewing Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn. Now, this has to be... I have to say it's my favorite of the series, but then, you know, after I say that, I'm like, well, I do like Army of Darkness a lot more. To be honest, I love all these movies amazingly, but in different ways. I love the first Evil Dead because it really showed me that you can make an amazing movie with almost nothing. Evil Dead 2 is just, it has that perfect balance of horror and comedy, and Army of Darkness is just a hilarious movie that has incredible rewatch value. I love Evil Dead 2. It has something about it that just, you can go back and watch it again and again and still be scared and laugh hysterically at certain parts of the movie. I love the stop motion that they use in the film. It's just stop motion in general is just something I really enjoy in horror movies. When I see a lot of CGI and stuff put in post that you can just totally tell was done in a digital process, it just doesn't look as good. It doesn't have that same, like, you sit there and you think, oh, that's CGI. Where when stop motion movies like this, you're like, oh, that's totally stop motion, but it looks, there's just that level of realism that stop motion has. It looks real but fake all at the same time, where CGI just looks like a cartoon. Well, that's just a personal belief of mine, but that's another reason why I like Evil Dead 2 so much. For those of you who are not indoctrinated into the Evil Dead way, Evil Dead 2 is a sequel, but it's more of a remake. So essentially, I want to say this is the first reboot. Reboot is a term that has been used quite a lot since the Star Trek reboot. Back then, it was like, what's a reboot? It's a remake and an original movie. That's what it is. So I have to say, Evil Dead 2 is probably one of the first reboots out there. It has all the major elements from the first movie, but done in a more dark comedy way. And that's why I kind of like Evil Dead 2 more than Evil Dead 1. There was hints of comedy in Evil Dead 1, but it wasn't like blatantly apparent like it is in Evil Dead 2. One moment, Evil Dead 2 will be scaring you, next moment it'll make you laugh your butt off. And really, I love that back and forth. You don't know when to laugh and when to scream. The reason why it is like this is because they couldn't get a hold of the footage for the last Evil Dead movie. They had no copyright on it, even though it was their movie. They couldn't get the copyright on it. So what they did was they were going to reshoot the whole last couple scenes from the first Evil Dead. Ends up, it was going to cost too much to do that. So they're like, well, let's just summarize the first Evil Dead movie in 7 minutes. It'll be better. It'll be easier that way. And for those of you who don't know this, Sam Raimi was supposed to play Scott from the first Evil Dead for this little recap, but it never went through, but they did have makeup tests for him. It's a little trivia for you. So it was ended up going to cost too much, so they just summarized the first Evil Dead in 7 minutes. The part where Bruce Campbell gets possessed and dragged half a mile into the woods, that is essentially where Evil Dead 1 ends and Evil Dead 2 begins. But you don't really get that sense. It stands alone as its own movie. It could be the first Evil Dead for all you know. One of my favorite sequences in this movie is the scene where Bruce Campbell's, or Ash's hand gets possessed, and it's beating the crap out of him, and he cuts it off and it runs away and gives him the finger. And it's so hilarious, and it's actually based off a short that Scott Spiegel did. I believe he was the assistant director, but it's based on a short he did back in high school called Attack of the Helping Hand. It was a spoof of the Hamburger Helper commercial. If you're a big Evil Dead fan, you should try to get a hold of that. That's a pretty cool little short film. Scott Spiegel has it on his website, I believe. But that's just one of my favorite parts of the movie. And another thing I really like about Evil Dead 2, it's very quotable. And if you notice, I do a lot of and every video with Bruce Campbell quote of the day and fact of the day. When I try to do that, I try not to use any quotes from any of the Evil Dead movies because they're so quotable, and like probably everyone's heard those quotes before. So I try not to use any of the quotes from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness because they're just so quotable. And that's one of the reasons why I love this series. And I really felt that Evil Dead put its foot in the door, and Evil Dead 2 just busted it wide open with great effects, great lines, great characters, and Bruce Campbell went from this cowardly character in Evil Dead 1 to this amazingly badass character in Evil Dead 2. He went from a coward to a horror icon. If you ask me who is your favorite horror hero, I would say Ashley Wilson from Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Not Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. He had the chainsaw hand, and one of my favorite parts of this movie is when he does that hero stance with the chainsaw arm and the sawed-off shotgun. He says, "Groovy." How could you not think this movie is meant to be funny after hearing a line like that? It takes itself so seriously at one point, and then does the polar opposite and is just completely goofy. It's like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon with gore and monsters and zombies. I love this movie. During Halloween, I like to watch a certain genre of films. Evil Dead 2 is always in that list of films that I watch during Halloween, along with John Carpenter's The Thing, The Shining, all these things. I love Evil Dead 2. It is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It may not have had the same impact that Evil Dead 1 had, where it made me think, oh, I can make movies, but it's definitely an enjoyable piece of film to watch. I can guarantee with the new Evil Dead movie coming out that I have not seen at present, I can say that even if I like that movie, which I don't think I will always love and cherish Evil Dead 2 a lot more. It is a great piece of film. I highly recommend it if you're a horror fan, if you're a Bruce Campbell fan, if you are a Sam Raimi fan. If you're a fan of just cheesy cult movies, you gotta see Evil Dead 2. It's really interesting. I love the over-the-top gore. There's certain scenes that just seem like, oh, that's kind of Monty Python-esque, just with the amount of blood they use. It's so great. I could go on hours and hours of just boasting about how great this movie is and just make myself look like a total fanboy. But I think this is a movie that you gotta go out and experience yourself. And if you like it, great. If you don't like it, okay, well, try the other ones because each movie is different. Well, that's my review of Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. I hope you found it enlightening. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out my reviews of the other Evil Dead films. Say, do you like movies? Do you like movie reviews? Well, check out this website. It's called WeLiveFilm.com. They are reviews from people like me and many others. I suggest you check them out. Check those out. Check out my channel. Please rate, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you in my next review. Here are the Bruce Campbell facts and quotes of the day. Bye. Hey everybody, this is usually where I put the bloopers and sometimes ask you guys a question, but I wanted to do something else this time. Wanted to show you something kinda cool. Do you remember that guy Jake from Evil Dead 2? Well, that's him right there. Bobby Joe! Well, I have his autograph. Right there. To Joey. Still evil and still dead too. That's right, I framed it like a dork. And I'm very proud of that dorkness. I also have, here, let me show you this. These right here are all my Bruce Campbell movies. Every single one of those is a Bruce Campbell movie, and those are some books. Actually, I actually watched Evil Dead 2, I haven't put it back, and Lady Killers is supposed to be here somewhere. And then above it I got my riffing stuff, and then right there my Blu-rays also got Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness there. Do not get the Blu-ray of the first Evil Dead, it is not worth it. Alright, well, leave your comments below. Bye.